Well, in this video we're going to be unboxing a lithium blower. I was watching the Ultimate Recycler channel and he did a review of a Makita one, and I thought that's a kind of handy tool to have. Just a little handheld blower for occasionally blowing out stuff around the place. Not really something I want for electronic use necessarily, though it might be good for some TVs and stuff to get some of the dust out of them, but more just general cleaning around the place where there's leaves and stuff, cobwebs, whatever's got into a corner of a building or something, garages and stuff. It's always nice to have something to get that out rather than trying to get a brush in there and flick it out and then it leaves half the dirt and stuff behind it anyway. But the Makita one I think was about $140 or $135, something like that, and I thought, well, that's a little on the exy side for just a little blower. So I had a look on eBay, and sure enough you can get these for around $30 or $40. But I thought I'll just get the cheapo version rather than buying the fancy one. I mean, Makita stuff's a little bit overpriced for what it is sometimes, as the fun I had with the chainsaw I bought off them. I thought for this project I don't really need anything too fancy. Here's the details of our box. Please save this label. No thanks. And it just reminded me that I actually have another unboxing to do, which is a new knife I got from Bunnings. I completely forgot I even bought this. That was like 2 weeks ago. I couldn't even find it. Just got chucked on the bench amongst all the other tools and stuff and completely forgot I had it because my old ones are starting to get rougher. It does come with some blades. I did buy some more blades, which reminds me of some blades somewhere, so I might have already thrown them in the tool drawer where I keep them. I think I did actually now that I think about it, but yeah, I forgot I'd bought this. Okay, let's put those, should sit in there. And oh, I see, that goes under the little piece here and that goes in the slot, so that's kind of cool. A little bit more fancy than they used to make it, I think. And this has got a little clip-in bit, which is, I think, a good design because these, that's the problem with my old one, it tends to split apart here somewhere and the blade starts dropping out through the bottom of the knife. So I've got a Stanley 99E. This is the one I've been using, the proper Stanley one, which is actually a 99E as well, possibly. Of course, it's got liquid nails all over it. Here's the Stanley 99E as well. And yeah, you can see it's getting pretty worn. It's getting a little loose there and the blade will actually drop out of that slot sometimes. Yeah, it's not fitting the best there. Maybe there's just some muck in there, I don't really know. I tend to just use it, change the blade occasionally. Made in Australia. Some of these were actually made in Tasmania, I think. There used to be a Stanley factory in Moona. I went and toured it back in the late 80s when I was at TAFE. And they were making possibly screwdrivers, tape measures, I remember, possibly spirit levels, maybe these things. And somewhere I've got a real old school one, if I can find it. Here's a really old one. This is actually made in England. I think it's a proper Stanley. That's from probably the 60s or 70s. That was my dad's one, and it actually had like a saw blade in it, and I don't know what exactly happened. Possibly someone was working on the guttering or something, because there's some old plastic guttering on the shed, but it got dropped and buried, and for some reason I was digging in the spot quite deep down. I actually dug it up again. I thought, oh my god, what's that doing there? And then I remember that was Dad's old Stanley knife, so either I or him dropped it in there a long time ago. I think I just pulled it apart and took that blade out. I think this one kind of got relegated to secondary usage, just with one of those long sort of saw blades you could get to fit into them. Standard Heaven, it actually tells you a bit about a few different models. Use, maybe this isn't a Stanley. Use, is it Rabone Chesterman replacement blades. Trimming knife blades, RB 1730 standard, RB1730 HD heavy duty. I remember at some stage he had like some hooked ones and stuff. I think they were for cutting carpet. That is so corroded. That must have spent 20 years or more underground, I think. $17.30 trimming knife. $17.32 saw knife. Something SP knife blades special, maybe KB 1732 stainless steel. RB 1732 W wood. Unfortunately, corrosion has taken its toll on that. It was in a pretty damp area. I can't remember when I actually dug that up, but I thought that's a real one from my early childhood, basically. Let's see what this thing feels like. Oh, it's a lot nicer than the other one. This is having trouble. That's the other hassle with it. Oh, it's getting a bit rusty, that blade. Because things are moving in there and worn out. God knows how many uses this thing's had. I'd hate to think how many blades have been through it. I'm not even sure I got this one from, whether it was new or I got it from the first place I worked, or what happened. Maybe it was my dad's old one. I don't think so. I'm sure he had another one somewhere. But I think that was an aftermarket. I've also got some aftermarket one here, and that's just about had it as well. I don't think this part works anymore. This is much nicer to use. But anyway, enough of box cutters. Let's cut some boxes. Oh, that's lovely. I don't know why it took me so long. Well, I kind of do, because I never think about it except when I use it that I should really get a new one. By the time I get to Bunnings, it's like, what was that thing I was thinking I needed? And never think about it, but for once I actually remembered. Only took me about 10 years to remember to buy one. Well, this is a little dodgy already. It does fit on there. I think it's got a bag. But, you know, for the price, it's not going to be the fanciest thing ever. That's right, you can put a bag, or you can move the nozzle there and use it as a vacuum. Not sure I would recommend using something like this as a vacuum, but yeah, this is a pretty shonky fitting thing so far. I think what you do to vacuum, you put this on here and your bag on there. Personally, with a cheapo one, at least, I would not be, even with a good one, why would you put rubbish through them? I don't know if it really goes through the motor or just the impeller, but yeah, why would you do it? Probably going to ruin it. Let's try a battery on this thing and see if that even fits. Ooh, even that's a little dodgy, so this is a real cheapo tool, I must say. That'll work well, that blows plenty of air. So yeah, can't complain about that. It's got a bit of force. Yeah, that's quite good force. Don't know how long the battery lasts on it. If it's blowing that much, it probably burns through it fairly quick. Yeah, warning, save these instructions, warning, save these instructions again. Just the usual legal stuff probably. Charge the battery pack before completely discharged. Stop and change the battery pack when you notice less power. Always be sure the tool is switched off and the battery pack is removed before adjusting, checking the tool. Yeah. Doesn't really tell you anything. Here we go. Air pressure. 5.4 kilopascals or 550 millimeters of water. Is that like the old mercury pressure? Guess it would be, wouldn't it? Air volume 2.3 meters cubed a minute. So that's pretty good amount of air. Rated voltage 18 to 21. Battery capacity 2 ampere hour. Why would it care what? Well, that might have been the ones they did sell them with batteries, I think. So maybe that's the one with the battery, comes with the 2 amp. I've got a 3 ampere hour on there. I hope I don't burn it out or anything, but no, it'd be fine. No load speed, 1200 RPM. Can you really have a no load speed on one of these since it's sucking in air and blowing it? Yeah, pretty poorly moulded there. It's very cheap, I must say, but for the amount I use it and it just feels like cheapo plastic. I guess that's probably not going to last the best. Definitely not. This is not like a tool you use on a work site. It's a tool you pick up and hold in your hand, and that's it. That's what I thought. I don't really want to spend $100 and something on one, unless this comes in so useful and I use it so much and then I break it. Probably just dropping this thing would break it. It feels pretty flimsy. Or maybe the motor will burn up one day or something. That's the sort of thing that goes in these things. But unless I really use it, I don't see why I need an expensive one. This is just going to get occasional use. And it's just another handy thing you can hang on the wall somewhere with your tools and just grab a battery off one of the other ones and just give it a quick blast if I need to clean out some stuff. The problem with blowing stuff out, of course, is the stuff goes everywhere and comes back at you, and you got to be careful you're not breathing in dust from rock and stuff, cement and all that sort of stuff, which is bad to breathe in. So probably wear a dust mask when using these things regardless, I would think, and probably eye protection too, because this will blast all sorts of grit into your eyes, which may seem not a big deal, but it may scratch your eyes and cause that horrible feeling of something in your eye. Corneal abrasions, something I seem to get from time to time from circular saws and other things. So probably best if you're going to get anywhere like in a tight spot with this thing, might be best to wear eye protection, wear a dust mask in case you're stirring up, you don't know what you're stirring up. Toxic stuff, like I say, even just dust and dirt and stuff is not the best for you. And if it's in a garage and stuff, you're going to have fine rock dust, you're going to have brake dust, and God knows what probably in there. Oh, I might take it and give it a bit of a blast and see what it does. I've got a proper leaf blower for big jobs, but I do get sort of leaves here and there in little places, and even just like after mowing along the side of footpaths and stuff, you end up with the grass clippings all over the pavers, and I often hose them off, but it would probably be nice to just get something like this and just blow it out of the way. Even the possum poo and stuff I get here, because the trees hang over the footpaths, and you know, that's a horrible stuff to deal with. So this would probably just blow it off the path rather than having to wait for it to all dry up over a day or so. So I'll try it on a few things like that, but yeah, I wouldn't really use this indoors or anything too much. Like a garage or something that's already fairly dusty and dirty, probably doesn't matter, but yeah, you don't want it just blows stuff everywhere, so you don't want it in your house. Definitely use a vacuum cleaner and something like that, but just for outdoor areas and fairly harmless stuff like organic stuff, leaves, grass clippings, whatever, this should be great for just cleaning up. I get lots of little sticks and stuff everywhere. One thing the ultimate recycler was saying is these are good for blowing out your gutters, so that's something else I want to try it for. That's the sort of place you may end up dropping it or something and breaking it, so probably buying a good Makita one would be the ideal thing there. But I would like to try it in some of the gutters. Some of them might have gutter guard over them, but even then you might be able to blow it along under the gutter guard. I often hose it out and just blast the hose through the gutter guard rather than trying to peel it out. But this will be perfect for open gutters, just blow everything out. And the problem is you often get like it's all damp and stuck together in there, but we'll try this and see. It should at least get the loose stuff out. And again, be handy if you're working on a roof and there's bits of insulation left over or leaves and bits and pieces. You just want to clear a small amount of stuff off and you don't want to take a big tool up there. This should be ideal for that sort of thing. And just give it a quick blow, and it seems to work fairly well. It's not going to move the bigger stuff around by the look of it, or large quantities easily, but one thing I just noticed is the battery doesn't actually clip onto it, so that's another thing. It's a very tight fit anyway, so it's not going to come off in a hurry, but it does have the thing there to lock it in. Maybe it's just slightly locked in. No, it's not. Oh, there, if you push hard enough, it does click. I don't think, and while it's at least new, it's not going to matter too much, so it does click with a bit of work. Yeah, it's very, very dodgy moulding, I think, on this thing. And whether it's as powerful as the Makita, probably not. But for the price, I think for the sort of use I use it for, it should be fine, but we'll try it on some real stuff. So as you can see, it's good for blowing like lawn clippings and stuff away. The heavier stuff like the gum leaves and stuff here, that are never the easiest things to blow, even with a big blower. It's not so great at, but yeah, for just general cleaning, blowing a bit of dirt off the floor or something, that type of thing, as long as you don't care about dust getting everywhere, it's actually pretty good. So definitely worth the price just to have around for the odd job here and there. It won't be getting a lot of use, but just things like cleaning off the steps when I've been mowing, that's handy to have it for. Saves me having to get the big leaf blower or broom or something. So just those little broom jobs with a few loose bits and pieces, it's fine for that sort of thing. If there's a bit of dirt I've trodden into the garage or something, I can just blow it back out the door. That's the kind of thing it's good for. Even good for like cleaning out containers or something if they got a bit of loose stuff in there. Dirt, dust, leaves, that sort of thing, cobwebs even. It's not too bad for just getting rid of a bit of that sort of stuff. So yeah, definitely worth it for the cheap one, for the amount I'm going to use it for. Not really worth spending the price on a proper one for me. Though nice to have the proper thing, but really how much difference is it going to be from this anyway? I mean, this is, you know, it looks pretty cheap, but it functions. It's just going to get knocked around and dirty and stuff anyway, so it's not like it's any point getting a flash one. And if you break it or whatever, well, you don't care. I mean, that's probably the biggest risk with these, is it's probably very cheap plastic, and sooner or later it's going to get broken if you drop it or something, whereas the good one might have survived. But, you know, you can buy several of these before you have spent as much as a good one anyway. And I think the only problem was this was a little tight, but it seems to have come a bit better. Originally I had to really force the battery on, I think, and then it wouldn't come off. Yeah, it doesn't want to click on the best. It's sort of half on, but it's so tight that it doesn't matter whether it clicks on or not anyway. So, you know, that's the sort of thing you expect from cheapo stuff. You could probably get a knife and cut a bit of plastic off this or something. I reckon I see, you can see the rough edge there. Probably a bit of Stanley knife work just to scrape that off there, because that's the beauty about this, is you don't care if, I mean, Makita batteries are always a bit of a pain. They get scratched up and a lot of friction on them. So they're not the greatest design. All this area here and these slidey bits. Yeah, just got to push that a little bit extra. So I guess the other possibility is we might need to fix up their mouldings. You know, the whole moulding is pretty dodgy. Someone really did a poor job of that. I guess if we take the edges off that bit a bit. Not that I really care, because it works perfectly fine like this and the battery's not coming off or anything. Hey, that goes on. It's rather tight. Just here, give that little thump. That's probably made enough difference. It's still a bit on the tight side, but like I say, Makita batteries are always on the tight side, it seems. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That'll do the job. It's just nice to have the battery actually click in, just in case you don't want your battery falling off, which unlikely, but no point damaging a battery if you can help it. So yeah, a no brand, cheaply moulded, eBay special, but I think that'll do the job fine. So thanks for watching.